Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take a quick look at DOGECOIN, see what's going on. Awesome scenario here. We broke through our local high and are effectively establishing higher highs for the moment. Good potential. We see a retest here of the 17.7 and a leg up from there. That all depends on how far Bitcoin wants to pull back, if it even does. DOGECOIN holding super strong at this point. I love to see this. We can kind of see somewhat of a rectangle pattern breakout there, or invalidation. You could even argue this is an ascending type of trend as well. But either way you look at it, I'll clean up the charts, post a playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, Discord. That's available. Looks a little something like this here, so you can kind of see everything that we discuss here today. So let's take a look at the backend data, kind of get started with that, and kind of go from there. And just kind of say, hey, thanks again for awesome feedback, folks. Appreciate you. And happy the signals are working well for you. We got an Ethereum 27% long from last week, an older near protocol. All take a profit had targets achieved at 56%. That was a long we took week before last. And once more, just at this point, folks, we have multiple entries and exit on our trades to ensure that we get the most out of our positions. So averaging in, averaging out is a good call, good strategy. And that's generally something I apply to all my swing trades. So anyways, that's all there for you if you want. CryptoCash.tech is a site, link down below. So let's take a look here. 18.5 to 19, is that resistance range? Not really. It's more so just a liquidation range that's typically based off of resistance. We're going to see if there is a resistance at that level. But simply put, we just saw the price action top out there tentatively, and does look like it really wants to continue further up here. A lot of that is based on Bitcoin too, because Bitcoin does look like it wants to continue further higher. So there's a lot of reasons why you want to probably try to get some skin in the game on this coin before it takes off, or wait for the pullback, which is generally something I like to do myself. Please note, I miss a lot of opportunities. So if you see me recommending waiting to buy the dip or the pullback before the next leg up, and it doesn't happen, that's just how I trade. I don't mind if I miss 100 different opportunities in one day. It's okay. But if you want to not miss opportunities, you can average in a little bit, put a small position now, if you will, and then consider adding to your position as the price goes down. That's roughly how I like to average in if I do that. Anyways, still too early. We haven't looked at the charts yet, but just kind of throwing it out there. There's some really good breaking bullish scenarios going on in the smaller time frames, and we'll see if the big ones too tell us the same thing. We can see liquidation delta is high, basically implying more longs versus shorts. Do not short this coin. That's what that's telling us here. Same thing here as well with a look at open interest. You can see the heaviest amount of accumulation at 17.5, 17.6. You could even round up and say 17.7. That's the local high. What do you know? That's a good consideration for a long at that point. So what we want to look at is the daily time frame and recognize a couple of key factors here. So first of all, daily time frame, what's the macro look like for us here? Well, it's a bit of a mess in a lot of ways. You can't just draw a trend line out and be like, oh, okay, we haven't broken bullish, we won't break bullish for a while. The truth is, at this point, we want to kind of draw our trend lines out with the moving averages. Okay? So just like other coins right now, majority coins are testing their descending trend line, and they're breaking above the 20, which is good. We got this consolation above the 20-day SMA, but we still got a larger time frame descending trend that we got to respect and understand will work as a resistance force inevitably. Okay, so that's just kind of something to be mindful of. Doesn't mean you can't still trade between now and then. There's a lot of different opportunities you can find here, but for the most part, it's not really an optimal situation for us. Okay, so let's take a look at the RSI to kind of see where we're at. We're still under 50 in the RSI. Money flow index is right there with it. That's usually a good sign, implying we have a good value and that more people are buying in at this lower price point. So we look at that and we compare that with our local point of control, 16.8, roughly 17 cents. 17 to 17.7 is our new support range. And that's roughly where you're going to want to average into your position if the price comes back down to retest those areas. So I'm going to be super interested in a position at the 17 to 17.7 mark. Okay? Now, there's no guarantees that's going to happen, but I just don't like to take a long right now as soon as we have our first breakout, when every breakout this year so far has been stopped out and just completely reversed. Okay, so it's just not an optimal scenario here to consider, taking a breakout trade, even though the likelihood is still quite high, right? So you got to recognize that. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? It's that whole concept here. We've been fooled multiple times over and over again this year, and it's difficult to trust these kind of breakouts. That's just kind of where my mind's at. Anyways, all that being said, we're over 70 on the RSI, over our SMA, money flow index is high. These are extremely beneficial signs. These are all signs I like to look for when the price cools down to take a long position, because we have the market's on fire, so to speak, bunny ears, of course. But the truth is, very, very good sign when you see the local highs that's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Now it's broken. That's going to reaffirm itself as a good support if we see that retested soon. Ichimoku clouds confirming the same thing here as well. We were massively overextended, which is standard. We saw an overextension leading into a resistance, broke through that. Now the likely scenario here is for the price to fizzle down to 17.7 or to 17, even that macro point of control, and to bounce off one of those two areas. So I'll clean up our playout chart and I'll post that on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. But as per usual, these are kind of the scenarios that I'm kind of looking at and trying to make sure that we recognize this here. So that's overall where we're at. Mostly good stuff here, folks. So don't get it twisted. Just because the macro perspective isn't super bullish doesn't mean you can't still find wins between now and then. But the overall sense here is that we're not in like a prime position to just go long right now. I think overall we should lean more towards longs, but we want to break our macro trend first and get above that. I'll keep you posted on that. I'll be covering this coin more consistently. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks for being an awesome part of my life. Make sure you check out Bitunix too, folks, if you want an awesome exchange that has no KYC or VPN requirements. These guys are phenomenal. $8,000 in benefit rewards. Use my link to register. They also have multiple trading bonuses monthly because they take really good care of our community. Anyways, check out our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord too. Got a lot of good information there for you. I hope you have a good one. Thanks so much again for your time. We'll see you soon. Take care.